my friends. Welcome to episode 25 of the EarthtonesGirl podcast. My name is Denise, and I'm coming to you today from my home in Yonkers, New York, where I live with my husband and our 2 children, but you all know all of that by now if you've been watching me for a while. Today is New Year's Eve. It is December 31st. This is my 25th episode. It is not going to be long, but I did want to pop in and say hello, touch base with you all, share a few thoughts, closing thoughts for 2018, opening thoughts for 2019, just fill you in on some news. I hope you all had a wonderful, peaceful, happy holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope it was joyous for you. We had a lovely Christmas, as you saw from watching me do Vlogmas this year. Vlogmas was really, really fun. I am not following a script, you guys. I usually have my notes handy. I mean, I did jot down a few thoughts, but I'm just going to kind of wing it today. I just wanted to pop on, again, like I said, just to say hi. Vlogmas was wonderful. Vlogmas was really, really great. But as I said toward the end, I definitely know that I will be doing things different for next year. There will be a Vlogmas, but it will be a modified or edited, I'm not sure what word to use, but it'll be a little bit different for me for next year. 2018 was an incredible year. It brought me so much joy. It also brought a couple of speed bumps. I've always been very careful with how I choose my words, and I think how you label things and the names that you give things can give them power over you or not so much power over you. So instead of saying there were good times and bad times, I'm going to say there were highlights and wonderful times, and there were definitely speed bumps. There were things that gave me pause, that made me slow down and think about where I'm going, where I am, where I want to go, and things I just want to do different to make myself feel more peaceful on the inside. The kids started school in September, and honestly, from about the second week, I think honestly, probably right before Halloween, maybe a week or two before Halloween, I feel like I have not stopped. I feel like I've just been on this out of control runaway train. That's the word I wanted. I feel like our expression, I feel like I've been on a bit of a runaway train, and it slowed down at times and I was able to gather my thoughts, but I feel like I've just been racing. I haven't had a moment to be quiet and to breathe. And the closer we got to the holidays, I feel like I thought I had a plan earlier in the year to avoid all of that craziness at the end, and it just didn't happen. I feel like there were so many things I wanted to do this holiday season, this Christmas season, and just didn't get to. And a lot of it was lack of time and just lack of energy, you guys. I just felt worn out. I was falling asleep at night. I didn't get nearly as much knitting done as I would have liked. I feel like that suffered a lot. My making suffered a lot at the end of this year, at the end of 2018, and I have to make changes for the new year to make that not happen again, or to happen on a much lower level, on a just not as intensely as it did this year. I mean, the holidays definitely bring about a little bit of this. Sorry, I'm rocking my I'm back in our usual spot recording, so the camera is on, my phone is on the bed on my little stand. I just need to slow down, you guys. I need to slow down. My word for 2018 was simplify, and I feel like I did that really well in the beginning. And I tried not to make it a resolution because resolutions don't work for me either. I prefer the word intentions. And I kept up with that intention for a long time. I would say more than half the year. And it was going really well. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know what the turning point was that it just started to spiral out of control. And I was really unhappy about that, really unhappy. So the kids are home and I think everyone's getting a little restless. I think we all need the normalcy to return. We've had a really, really great day. And I'm going to talk about my take on the last day of the year in a second. But yeah, I don't want that frenzied feeling inside of my chest again. I really don't want that anymore for my creative life, for my personal life, for my own internal space. I don't want that anymore. And going into 2019, I realized what I lost and what caused all of that for 2018 was a loss of focus. I could not focus. It even had moments of causing a bit of tension between Chris and I. He would say to me so many times in the last few months, you can't focus. He's like, I don't know what it is, but you can't seem to focus. And he was absolutely right. I couldn't hold a thought in my head. It was like I was having squirrel moments all the time, like la 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 la, everything's going great. Oh wait, squirrel. Oh wait, okay, I'm back on track. Everything's going okay. Wait, squirrel. It was just ridiculous, and I wasn't completing tasks. I started a lot of projects in the last couple of months that honestly I know I'm not going to finish. I don't even know why I started a lot of them, and I got really excited by them and thought, okay, this is it. This is what's going to settle me. This is what's going to calm me down. And it just wasn't. And I don't know why. I mean, I do and I don't. I mean, this episode would be 10 hours long if I went into all the details, and nobody needs to hear that. But I think focusing, and I know how to make myself do that, and you'll see it as we get into next year, you'll see how hopefully I'm able to return to a place of focus. So yeah, that is basically, I don't know. It's kind of, like I said, I just wanted to come on and share some thoughts with you guys. Like I said, today is the last day of the year, and I am feeling grateful today. Today is the first day in a long time where I do feel a little calmer. Anxiety, I wouldn't really use that word, and I do have that, and that has been amplified a lot in the last few months, and I think that's also a contributing factor to my lack of focus, is that my anxiety has just been way, way, way too high, and the pressure of things I feel like I had to do as opposed to things I really wanted to do, should do, things I didn't really have to do. I was getting confused with that, with what I don't really have to do versus what I think in my mind I need to do or have to do. Does that make sense? There's a lot of things I did that I didn't really have to do, and it's okay to not do them. And I feel like I remembered that this morning, and I remembered that today. And you can take all of the holidays, roll them into one, and they don't mean as much to me as New Year's Eve means to me. And I have been doing this for, oh my gosh, the last 20 plus years. And it's been amazing. It helps me. And like I said, that's why I had such a good beginning of the year. Almost the first 6 to 7 months of last year were really good. And knowing now how this year is ending, I know what I want to do for next year. And what I've done for about the last 20 years, I almost digressed, but I'm back on track. There's certain things I have to do, not have to, certain things I choose to do on the last day of the year. I make sure I spend time with my family, and not just my immediate family, but my extended family, my parents, my sister, anybody else that happens to be in-laws, sister-in-law, etc. Make sure I spend time with them. Doesn't have to be a lot of time, but quality time. Just connecting with them, seeing them, giving them a hug, telling them I love them. That's one. 2, now that I have children, it's spending quality time with my kids, sitting with them, connecting with them, reading stories, just sitting on the couch, hugging them. Quiet time, watching a movie. I do that with Chris as well. He's at work right now, but when he comes home later, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now. And I also make sure I take a couple of minutes for self-care, which I did today. I had to go to my chiropractor. And they're not always conscious things. I don't always schedule these things, but they just work out that way. And this has been, I'm telling you, this has happened for about the last 20 plus years, where that last day of the year, certain things just fall into place for me. Family, self-care, time for my hobbies, for things that I love to do, which is another reason I'm really happy that I was able to make this time to do this podcast for today. I've got my knitting here. It's sitting right here off to the side. I'll show you that in just a second. Time with the kids, time with my husband. Chris and I, since his promotion, that's another, and there's been a lot. He's had a huge promotion with work. My parents have moved, so I do know what the contributing factors are to the chaos that surrounded me. I do know what they are, and it was trying to pick up even more slack around here so that he could focus solely on work. It was helping my parents move and get them settled into their new home. It was a lot. It was a lot. And the kids were very busy at school, and there just wasn't time to take care of myself. And I was beating myself up about it, but I'm not doing that anymore. So Chris and I talked the other night, and we really need to be husband and wife again, to be friends again, to be friends again, to be husband and wife again, not just roommates. And I feel like that was happening a lot lately. We were feeling more like roommates, and that's not good. He's doing his bit, I'm doing my bit. He'll do things around the house, but the big stuff I can't necessarily do or choose not to do. I take care of the day-to-day, he does the bigger stuff, but I feel like we were very much ships in the night, and we made a toast the other night at dinner to each other and just said, you know what, I miss you, we miss each other, we really need to reconnect, and that's really important, and that's important for me to feel calmer too. I need more time with my partner to make myself feel better, to put myself in a good place. And when I don't have that connection with him, that's a hindrance for me as well. So yeah, there's all of these things. So he'll be home later. We will get that. We'll cook dinner together. We will sit with the kids together. It'll be good. It's going to be good. And then taking care of our home. There's a couple of little things. We have one last big thing to de-Christmas today. Putting our home back together to set the tone for the new year. And that's what it is. It's all about how I spend the last day of the year. To me, and it has applied for years now, sets the tone for the new year. Not letting things ruffle my feathers, not getting worked up about things, realizing, remembering, focusing on what's important. And I lost sight of that. And with 2019, I'm really hoping to get back on track. So that is me personally. Couple of things I do toward the end of the year. It's really funny. I either do it usually it happens on the last day of the year. The house has to be tidy and clean. All I basically have to do now is just change the sheets on the beds, things like that. The house is tidy. No dishes in the sink. I like my home to feel cozy. There are candles that are lit. I hang up my calendar for 2019. We have a calendar right now, the family calendar that goes 18 to 19. But I also like to have a calendar that's just for 19 and relates exclusively to my making. So I keep keep track, so to speak. And I've been talking to Natalie Sheldon, who's Remembrances Pottery. She and I have gotten really close in the last few months. I've considered her a friend for a while, but things have changed lately in the best possible way, and she's helped me and reminded me about a lot of things, helped me with a lot of things, and she's sort of been my guide to that return to focus. So Natalie, if you're watching, I can't tell you how grateful I am to you for your willingness to help me with that. In this making community, it is all about helping each other achieve our goals, and it makes such a difference. And it's nice because you've got people that are getting to know you, but they still have that little bit of distance because they still don't know you that well. And I find that such a great middle ground for, what am I trying to say? For accepting help from people like that. You've got, because they're not family and they don't know everything about you, that little bit of space or wiggle room, playroom, helps them to help you and helps you to help them. I don't really know how to make that clear, but I think you understand what I mean. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And Natalie, again, has given me some tools, and I can't wait to put them into place. One of them has to do with a calendar and keeping track, scheduling myself for certain things. And I think that's going to work wonders for me. I like schedules. I like organization. I like routines, and putting my making life on a bit of a schedule. Doesn't have to be rigid, but just keeping track of certain things I want to do so that when November rolls around next year, I'm not like, oh my gosh, I think I want to do another sock garland and a mitten garland and a this and a that and a this and a that, and I make 20 handmade gifts. It's just not going to happen. Starting now will help it to happen. So again, I have Natalie to thank for that. And Mars, who is Hey Brownberry, just did her last podcast episode, and she talked about distraction and direction and distraction, and I believe it's direction, but definitely distraction. And go and watch it. If you haven't watched it, definitely go and watch it. Amy Beth, who is Fat Squirrel Speaks, she just put out a bonus episode talking about knitworthy and body image and its self-care and all of that. These are all such incredible makers and women that I have the pleasure of knowing and calling friends, and there's so much to glean from them, and I'm gleaning. I am taking notes. I'm gleaning. I am making a conscious effort, you guys, and I can feel it already. It's good. It's really, really good. So and Rachel, my dear Rachel, we know how I feel about Rachel. And Rachel is the one that suggested this calendar. She ordered this much earlier in the year, and I decided to get a copy for myself, and it's just such a beautiful, let me just flip to the back page without ruining it for everybody. I think it's in the back, or maybe the front. I thought this calendar did like a cumulative, like a page with all of the images that are in it. I guess not, but I don't want to ruin it for you. But all of these images are so beautiful. It's Slay Home, I may be pronouncing that incorrectly, and I apologize. Slay Home Folk Art Calendar for 2019. These images are beautiful, and this calendar is going to go right back here. And you'll see that as I podcast, and it will have my making schedule on it. I will have my notebook nearby to keep track of my notes and things I want to work on. I'm excited, you guys. There's so many good things in the works, and which is the perfect segue to talk about, I'm going to talk about more house prep in just a second. I know I just went off on a tangent, but there is a make-along that I am co-hosting with, I think we're up to 10 or 12 amazing makers, and I will link all of them down below for you. It is the New to You Make-Along, New to You Make-Along, and that is the hashtag. I will put that down here for you. And Arrow Acres Farm, those ladies are the genius behind this, and it starts January 1st, so it starts tomorrow, and runs through February 14th, so through Valentine's Day, and it is a challenge. Try a technique that is new to you. Try something that you've always wanted to do. Now's the time to do it. You've got this whole community that will be supporting you, rallying around you. There will be so many people you can turn to for help if you get stuck. So that is, I was asked to be one of the hosts for that, and I couldn't be prouder, more excited, more honored to be joining in on this venture, this challenge. And what is new to me is design. I've never designed a pattern before. I've taken patterns and dramatically tweaked them to do what I wanted them to do, but I've never started from scratch and designed a pattern. I have an idea for a sock, and I have an idea for a mitten pattern, so I am really excited about that. So excited. I posted a picture yesterday of a big stack of books and some yarn on top with where I will gather some of my inspiration. So stay tuned for that. I don't think that I'll be able to get a pattern completed by the end of the make-along, but you never know. You never know. I may have the foundation for it by then, and that's what I want to do. Opera Joanna, who is Opera Joe on Instagram and Stitching the High Notes on YouTube, she's just joined a book club, and the book is Big Magic, Creative Living Without Fear, I think. I'll put if I'm wrong, I will definitely put the exact title down below too, and that is by Elizabeth Gilbert, of Eat, Pray, Love fame. And that book is now an audiobook on my phone, and I can't wait to dive into that. So many things, fear holds me back. It definitely does. I want to be perfect the first time out of the block, and that's impossible. It's not going to happen, and I feel like that holds me back from casting on projects sometimes, from how I want to present my podcast, from how I want to edit things, learning different things on the internet. So, yes, I'm looking forward to reading that book and being inspired by that, having it be an inspiration to just jump in, to do more, to create, be willing to make mistakes, not be afraid of the mistakes. So many good things, you guys. I think 2019, like I said, is going to be a year of focus, but it's also going to be a year of self-exploration. There's a lot in here that I want to share, that I want to bring out. So stay tuned. Let's see where the road goes, where the road takes me. And to go back to things I do around the house, I was explaining how I try to spend time with family, spend time on some self-care. Like I said, I went to the chiropractor today, and I need to take better care of this body because it needs it, and take care of my mind, take care of our home, our family, and I also read from, let me see if I have it right here. Yep, I do. It's right in here. I also read from this book, and it's called The Path to Tranquility. I have been reading this. I've pretty much read the whole thing cover to cover. But it's broken up into days. So you have a new daily wisdom on each day. So, and each day is dated. And I'm always reminded that, well, not reminded, but I always go back and read this. And sometimes I'll just randomly pick a page and see what that has to share with me. Just reading September 20th right now. Anyway, so I will read a page from this. I usually say a little prayer by myself. And I watch the movie How to Make an American Quilt. That sometimes happens today on the last day or on the first day, but one of those 2 days I always watch that movie. I've watched it every year for the last, I would say 23, 24 years. It's an incredible, it's a simple movie with Winona Ryder and several other faces you may or may not recognize. Very popular older actresses, and the older ones are the vintage actresses. They're the ones that know how to pull it off. And the premise of the movie is life is a patchwork. Life is made up of many, many, many bits and pieces, and how those pieces come together, those pieces coming together makes up who you are, makes up your life. And it's a message that I remind myself of every year, and it's even more prevalent now that I'm a part of this amazing making community. Go and check it out if you can. It's actually on Netflix right now. I have never seen it on Netflix before, but things happen for a reason. It is on Netflix, so please go and have a look. It's, again, How to Make an American Quilt with Winona Ryder, and Gene Simmons is another actress in it. I'm blanking on everybody else's name. Maya Angelou is in it. It's worth it. Just for her alone, it's worth sitting watching the movie. So go and have a look at that. And the other thing that I do is I smudge my home. And Smudging has something that's been done for hundreds and hundreds of years. I first became acquainted with it during a trip to California. My aunt took me into a store that was selling Native American things, for lack of a better word, and there were bundles of sage and an unburned, oops, I just spilled it on my bed, that's okay. An unburned bundle of sage looks like this. Okay, it's usually just wrapped, this is just a cotton string that's wrapped around it, and you burn this, you light the tip, and the smoke that is given off, you do have to be careful. I'm not going to lie. You do have to be careful doing it because sage is a very strong smell. It doesn't bother me anymore. I love the smell. But what I do with this is I light it and I start, after I've said my prayer and done my meditation and done my daily wisdom reading, I will start at the place in my home that is furthest away from the front door, and I light my sage. Here it is lit, because I use the same bundle for maybe, this is probably the second year I'm using this bundle. I'd say one bundle in my life usually lasts 2 years. So here it is burned, and I hold this little jar that I bought from the same Native American shop, and I've had this again for years and years and years. Isn't this beautiful? And it is filled, I don't know if you can see in there, it's filled with the ash, with the leavings of the sage and sand, so that I can put this out safely, and it stays. The sage stays in here until the following year. So anyway, I light it and pass the smoke 3 times in each room, and I work my way to the front door. Usually I have any occupants in the house, whether that's Chris, the kids, whoever happens to be here while I'm doing it, they all go outside. Everybody goes outside. Rain or shine, doesn't matter. They go outside. Thank goodness we have the porch now. But they go outside. I'm the last one to leave. I smudge over the front door. I pass the smoke 3 times over myself, and then that's it. I say, okay, everybody, we can go back in. And what I feel that it has done, and it changes the energy in our home. It's starting over. Here's little boy. Come, Papa. What do you want to show them? Oh, our little blow-up snowman. We're going to play with this later? Okay, bud. I'll fix the bottom, baby. I promise. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Like I said, it changes the energy for me. It's a restart. Does it have any real basis in anything? Maybe not, but it gives me that restart that I need, that restart that I look forward to each year. This year even more so. So it's even more significant for me to do it this year. So yes, that is pretty much how I end the year. That is my yearly ritual. I wanted to share that with you all. And I just wanted to come on again and just share all these thoughts with you guys. Say how I'm feeling. I hope you all are happy. Resolutions are hard. Don't put pressure on yourself, you guys. Take your time. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with the people around you. That was a recurring theme for me during Vlogmas, is taking the time to take care of other people, and that is a theme that's going to continue with me. I would like to say the rest of my life, but I focus on it more now. It means a lot, you guys. It really means a lot, and it makes a difference for people. So try to do that. Just try to help somebody. Help yourselves. If you feel that you need it, take the time to do what you need to do to heal yourself. That is what I'm doing right now, and it's going to be good. It's going to make a difference, and I know that. So yes, let's talk knitting for about 2 minutes. So there is, again, back to the make-along. There is the make-along that's happening. I will put a link to, I'm going to start, I'm still not decided. I was a little bit on the fence. Hang on, sweet boy. Hang on, okay? Come, I'll open it for you. He wants me to open his fruit snacks. Hang on, you guys. Come here. I know, I won't rip blue. Hang on. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lost my train of thought again. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, make along. Okay. So, yes, the make along. New to you make along. I will be working on a new design. There are a couple of projects that I've started. I did the New Year's Eve cast on for the Midnight Snow Socks by Natalie Sheldon, Remembrances Pottery. I got the cuff done. That's it. So can't wait to have the time now, once the kids are back in school and life goes back to normal, to really sit and work on those. Excuse me, to work on my own designs. Yes, and to share making with you. It's all good, you guys. So let's look at one little knitting project. I wanted to do this during Vlogmas, but again, this honestly was one of the busiest Twixtmases. The time between Christmas and New Year's is called Twixtmas. If you go and check out Knitting Vicariously, I think that's the name of her podcast, Dunder Knit on Instagram, she is a breath of fresh air. Oh my gosh, if you guys have not watched her yet, hilariously funny. It's so sweet and so rated R sometimes. Even that is so refreshing. I love it. But yes, so I'm using her term for the Twixtmas season, and I had no time. I feel like every single day, we had Christmas Day, the next day I went to Staten Island, the next day we were with family, the day after that, I took the kids, we were everywhere. It was Rockefeller Center. Then yesterday we went to see a dinosaur exhibit out in Edison, New Jersey. I took CJ. We'll talk about that on another episode. You know what? We might even talk about that. It was a full day. It was a crazy day. It was way too crowded. We went way too late in the day, but I was with other families. Note to self. So anyway, didn't get to finish these. These will be done hopefully before the end of the day. I'm hoping to have these be my last make. Like I said, I am recording this at about 3 in the afternoon, so I still have a couple of hours. And I've marked my place to cut my knitting. You know what? Let's do it right now, you guys. Let's do it right now. Well, live, sort of live. But I've got my darning needle right in the spot, so I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to hold it right here. I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to slide my scissors. Can you see that? I'm right there, and I nipped it, y'all. Look at that. I cut it, you guys. It is cut. Can you see that? Just did it. Oh my gosh. Now I get to unpick this. I really hope I cut the right thread. Right thread. I think I did. So now I get to go in and unpick this. I'm going to just pull out a couple because I wanted the goal for this. I'm only going to do one more so you could see it. Hang on. Okay. So there you go. I have started. Joanna, if you're watching, I hope you're okay. Is your heart beating too fast? I hope not. Anybody else that's watching might feel a little bit of palpitations going on. Cutting your knitting is a big deal. This was also a good show of the fact that I am going into the new year with no fear. No fear, you guys. Don't let anybody see the fear, okay? Because then they know what your weaknesses are. So there it is. Yes, so what I had wanted to share this during the during Vlogmas, but it just didn't happen. And the effect I wanted for this, I wanted that bullseye effect on the heel. The color. So here's where I've marked it. Here's the toe. Here's the cuff. So when I knit this now and it comes out this way, it will have the colors spiraling in this direction down to the finish of the heel. I know I'm not using any of the right words right now because I'm blank, but yes, so you will see that shortly. Stay tuned to my Instagram feed. I will post it there. Let me just pop this back in. So yeah, you guys, I did that. I snipped my knitting. No fear. No fear for next year. Focus and no fear. That is it, you guys. And I feel like if you have focus, the fear falls away. So that is it. Very simple podcast. It's a little bit long today. It's more of me sort of just chatting. I hope that's okay with you all. I hope you've stuck with me to the end. To all of you who watch my podcast, to all of my subscribers, I've had quite a few lately here as well, and followers on Instagram. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for following along with me, supporting me, for all of your comments, your understanding when I take long to reply to messages, for everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You all make this so worth it. This podcast brings me joy. It makes me happy. I can't wait to share many more things with you in the coming year. Thank you guys. From our family, from my family to yours, Happy New Year. I will see you all again very, very soon. Have a blessed and merry and safe. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year.